Hello everybody, welcome to another Neon Caster stream. I am the Neon Caster, aka Nathan Blades. It's good to meet you all once again, and a welcome to another book club episode. Although this time we are not doing Cyberpunk Book Club, but as you can see, we have Urban Fantasy Book Club, which is one of the other ideas that I kind of had as part of this. It's my other favourite genre aside from Cyberpunk, and I wanted to highlight some really interesting games in that genre as well. I mean, to be real, a degree of it is just covering the likes of The World Ends With You and Persona 4 or 5, and 5 maybe, probably both. But we have a game that I was... Not that I didn't know too much about before it went live, and then after it went live, I played it on a train ride, a 2-hour train ride. This is an hour-long game, and actually played through and beat it twice in quick succession, because, oh my gosh, it grabbed my heart. So, for those who don't know what Urban Fantasy or Cyberpunk Book Club is about, what we do is we go and play a game for a couple hours stretch. Normally it's 3 hours, but because this game is so short, it's just going to be a 1 hour of this game. And before we play, we go and have a little bit of a chat about the themes we expect from the game, and what we think the game is about in terms of topic. Then we go and play it and discuss as we play, and then on the other side of it we go and talk about what kind of ideas we can take away from it, either the kind of message it's trying to impart to the wider world, or just interesting ideas that we can kind of take for our own creative projects, because the best way to make art is be inspired by other art. And then finally talk about, well, in Cyberpunk Book Club we talk about what cyberpunk means to that game. In this case, we're talking about what city life means to this game. Whether that's an easy discussion topic or not, we'll see. Urban fantasy as a genre is much, much broader in terms of what it can encompass than urban fantasy, than cyberpunk. So that question might be quite difficult to answer, and might have a different question for that once we get to it. But for now, what is Sayonara Wild Hearts? Well, that description that we have here is taken from the official description on the Nintendo eShop listing. This game is available in 3 places: on Apple Arcade, which is some kind of new live gaming service that Apple has done. I don't know if I trust, but it seems to be doing relatively well so far. It's available on that. It's available on Switch, and it's available on PS4. So I have the Switch version because I wanted to play it on the move. As the heart of a young woman breaks, the balance of the universe is disturbed. A diamond butterfly appears in her dreams and leads her through a highway in the sky, where she finds her other self, the masked biker called the Fool. Yeah, from that title, from that description, we already get the elements of Taro, which I didn't know about before I started playing the game. That element of it was a surprise. What this description does not talk about is the general premise of the game, I guess from a gameplay perspective. The people who designed this game, Annapurna, describe it as a pop album video game. So it is a music video in video game form, which is something that's existed for quite a while. There's a handful of different bands out there that have made video game pop albums. Weirdly off the head, the first example I have to that is Last Chance to Reason's Level 2, which is like a metal album that is about digital consciousnesses, and I listened to a lot in university because I was an edgy bitch. Yeah. But this game, the soundtrack in it is very, I've heard it described as like Carly Rae Jepsen meets ANAMANAGUCHI, which is a pretty good way to describe it. There is definitely a chiptune sub theme in this. I would say that there's a lot of synthwave in this as well. Which is definitely reflected in the graphics as well as the audio. Almost the entire game has this very, very rich purple hue, and with purple being my favorite color, that definitely already excites me. So let's go and have a little chat about what kind of themes we expect. So one of the obvious themes we're going to expect is, from that description alone, is Taro symbology. I'll to part the curtain. I have played this game through a handful of times, so I'm pretty aware of its themes. But I'm gonna just kind of like break down the bits and pieces in it that I think are interesting to explore. The game definitely represents the mythology of the Taro as both figurative and literal. There is the Wheel of Fortune turning into a sick motorcycle. The stream is very quiet, I'm being told. Let's go and fix that a little bit. Thank you for pointing out that this stream audio is quiet. I am going to raise the volume of that a touch, as well as the background audio just a little bit. Hopefully, the volume of that is a little better. I am still kind of learning the best way to get my audio right on these streams. So thank you for pointing that out. Please let me know if it continues to be a little quiet. Wonderful. Much better. Thank you. It remembers the setting for next time. So hopefully going forward, there should be much cleaner in terms of audio. Anyway, aside from that, sorry, Taro symbology. Yeah, this game discusses it in both a figurative and literal way. You get a sick motorcycle out of the Wheel of Fortune. Temperance turns into a bow and arrow, which is not quite what that card means, but that's fine. We don't think about it too hard. And literal. About my kind of, I guess, personal gaming experience and interest in the Taro. Those who know me very well is that I am a spooky mofo and practice the witchcraft of Taro reading for a group of people. So it's something that I actually have quite a personal interest in, and I'm trying to learn. So as we go through, I'm definitely going to be kind of talking about the definitions of some of the major arcana that come up in the game and whether they reflect in that. I will be kind of playing as I do that description though, so we'll see how that goes. This game is relatively easy to play, and the risk of the punishment for failure is low. But still. Oh yes, yeah, Taro, among other forms of magic, is definitely not a thing insofar as flinging fireballs around, but using Taro as a method of storytelling to inform stuff like the tabletop RPGs that I play, and some of the character writing that I do, as well as the ability to have a little bit of introspection, using the cards as a way to kind of think about what's going on in my own business is a surprisingly effective use of the things. I'm not going to be using them to predict the weather or the lottery anytime soon, although if I do work out how to do that and I earn the multi-millions, the next couple of visits abroad will be on me. Echo Blacksteel, hi. Welcome to the stream. But yes, in addition to Taro symbology, there is also the discussion of relationships and heartbreak, hence the name. So the story of this game is not especially literal. There are a number of incredibly interesting characters that the fool encounters across, and are they like previous relationships, like sexual relationships in a kind of like Scott Pilgrim, Seven Evil Exes kind of way, or are they just kind of friends and different circumstances that they've drifted apart or betrayed each other? The game doesn't necessarily say, but you can kind of get from the way that they're kind of grouped together and from the way that they attack you, because they definitely attack you, what kind of like relationships they might represent. And we'll have a little bit of chat on that about the other side of things, about what y'all think of the bosses in this game and what kind of relationships they might have with the main character. And in terms of a third theme that we expect from this game, I guess, well, it's not necessarily a theme as in like a story theme, but the relationship between gameplay and music is obviously incredibly strong in this game, as it is a music video. So a lot of the challenges in the game will be synced up to what's going on with what I have to do. There are definitely instances where the various kind of attacks and obstacles in the game layer on an additional kind of percussion into the songs, which is actually really, really cool, and the thing that like the official soundtrack doesn't have. So you get a very different experience listening through to the soundtrack as opposed to playing it directly. If you've ever played games like DDR before, or which, you know, the stomps of your feet actually layer in an interesting percussion into the songs, or at least the songs with good step charts do. Or if you've played Rhythm Heaven / Rhythm Tengoku, those games are all about using your inputs to layer in an additional instrument. Your actions are an instrument in the music itself. I guess in a really, really pretentious way, that means no two playthroughs of this game are the same, because the different timings of what you do add in those percussions oh so slightly. You get to freestyle jazz on top of this synthwave album, which is quite neat. So let's go and frame that as the gameplay as an instrument. To the musical score. Okay, I think that's a good way to describe that. So we're those are the general themes that we expect. In terms of me playing this, how to put this? Let's talk a bit about the tech and the way that I'm going to be playing this in a way that I can share with all of you. Normally when we do a book club, I have other people in the call with me, and sometimes when we do that, I don't pipe through the audio of the game, because sometimes that means I have to hear it twice. But this game, with it being very music focused, it's very important that the people who are also tuning in can hear the audio of the game. So the way that I've got things set up is that if somebody joins the call with me, they'll be able to get the audio, but it means I will also hear the game audio twice, and that may affect my play a little bit. So for now, what I'm going to do, while it's still just me in the call, I will have it set in a way where I won't be hearing it in my ears a second time. If somebody joins me in the call, I'll pause the game briefly, and we'll introduce them, and they can say hi, and we'll resume the game, and I'll be able to loop in their audio, the audio of the game, to them as well. So, without further ado, I think this is... Sabotage opportunity spotted. I'll go on finding that mic. Absolutely, yes. Please do let me know when you are going to join the call, and I will definitely make that work. But for now, I think let's go and get things started, shall we? Also, please do let me know if the game audio is too low for everybody as well, because that obviously is no good.
Not long
the music
ago,
in this is a
in a
pretty big
town
deal.
much like yours, there was a young woman who was very happy. Until one day her heart broke so violently that her sorrow echoed through space and time. So our saga begins tonight. Yet eons ago, just here, yet light years away.
You know it's a down-to-earth game when it starts on the falafel store. My audio. I am pushing up my audio actually as much as it can go, but that just means I might have to drop the game audio just a little bit if I'm losing myself in the mix. Just a touch. There we go. Yeah, you can already tell with the pulsing neon lines, the deep shades of purple, and again about Wild Hearts that this is all incredibly my shit. So, the game played normally when you boot up the game. You get a big list of all the tracks in the game, and you unlock them one at a time. When you finish a sequence, it kicks you back to this menu again, and you can select the next stage. However, because I've beaten the game, I have a different mode that I can play. It is Album Arcade. So Album Arcade basically lets you play through the entire game in one fell swoop, no pauses in between, and it tallies up your score as a whole. That is, I think, the best way to enjoy the game. Going for individual stage score attack is cool. There's lots of like hidden challenges that you can unlock through doing so, but I think the best way to experience the album as a whole is to get it to play back to back without the interruptions. So we're going to be doing it that way. Now, I've played this through a handful of times, so I do know what's coming up. However, I am bad at video games, so there may be instances where I die a handful of times. Please don't make fun of me. I am a tiny child. And with that, let's get going.
Long ago, a harmonious universe existed beyond ours, and 3 divine arcana watched over it. But one night, a cursed arcana intersected the astral highways, and along with her star-crossed allies, they stole all harmony
Immediately
and
on
hid it
that.
in the vile hearts. Before the divine trio started to fade, they created a heroine from the shards of a broken heart, and hoped that she would one day be strong enough to save their world.
So there is another. There are a handful of different influences in this, in addition to retro 80s aesthetic and tarot card symbology and queer relationships in multiple senses. Magical girls are also an interesting element that runs through this game, right down to old school like Sailor Moon style sound effects implemented in the game as well. But for now, that's right. So this game has a very simple control scheme. It is just the D-pad or control stick and up button, or you can hit any of the buttons and do the same thing. Navigating the game is mostly just moving left to right. Sometimes there's moving up and down, but largely it's just working your way through the stage, not hitting things you're not supposed to hit, hitting the things you're supposed to hit. Every heart that you collect in this game basically adds your current number of collected hearts plus 1. So score will rapidly increase in size as you go, which means that you can end up with some very, very chunky scores. However, if you hit anything, so run into a wall, run into an enemy attack, you immediately die, and you restart from where you were. The game rewinds about that second, and Henshin! We turn into the Fool. Very fabulous scarf, the best scarf. If you die, you reset where you left off, but your score resets, meaning it's really, really easy to complete the game. It's almost impossible to not complete the game. However, completing the game with a good score is actually something that takes a fair amount of practice. But yes, we are the Fool. Who, aside from, the obvious, while it might suggest naivete, it's usually the representation of the beginning of the journey, infinite potential, sometimes also the end of the journey as well, which, because the tarot as symbology tends to follow the hero's journey, like the storytelling archetype, the idea of the full beginning and ending a journey reflects the nature of that kind of storytelling. So really, what this game is boss in a certain way, if you want to kind of like treat it and flatten it or throw it away, is basically a series of boss rushes. But to get between the different bosses, you go through this subspace section. For now, we are playing in a way where there is nothing really that can harm us, or at least nothing that would mean that you fail especially hard, but that changes after a while. So we move to the first area, the Devil. Hate Hell Valley. Sick architecture there. So the Wheel of Fortune, which, you know, acts actually pretty obvious in the interpretation they're in. One of the interpretations is also apparently sweet-ass motorcycle, meaning that I am still here for it. There we go. This is an example of if you get hit, you move to a different area. You rewind back a couple seconds rather. And that's fine. You know, it doesn't harsh the flow of the game much, although it can sometimes be a bit redundant to be in a perfect flow and flip something. Funnily enough. Oh, getting lost in the game audio. Okay, I'm going to go and turn down the game audio just a little bit then in that case. My voice audio is up as high as it can go, but I am also not facing my microphone, so I will move my mic a little bit closer. Also, the Devils, who generally represent temptation and oppression, and also sweet fighting skills. This stage also introduces the idea of these Owendon-style prompts. You'd be surprised about how late you actually have to leave it to get perfect. And then the still writing section. That they all also have dramatic magical girl poses as they fight me is definitely a powerful energy. Also, biker girl gangs are the best. Just straight up. You know, famous comic artist and illustrator Jen Bartel has made a decent amount of her reputation on representing the Sukeban and various other types of girl gang. And that's because they're red. Also, this song is sick. Also, they can finger spirit gun at me. I like all the streetcars in this stage. Like very San Francisco, yes, and Manchester, so that also has a pretty elaborate tram system, although not as elaborate as this. And then suddenly flying. And then also Heartbreakers. Yeah! That's so satisfying. You broke my heart? Well, motherfucker, take this. You're next. Oh yeah, you also get point bonuses for just grazing stuff as well, so if you want to go for the high scores, drive very dangerously. Yeah! Just ballet underneath the barrier, it's so sick. I like that the sequences also match the kind of verse, chorus, verse. Oh, you thought? Take that. Yeah, stunt number. Yeah! And then we only out. A standard Thursday evening, you go in to the city, you break a couple hearts, you vanish again. On to the next. The moon. So, where the devil was largely about temptation and an oppressive force, the moon is about dreams and illusion. Also, the transitional pestilence get considerably harder. Still not in a way that I can die, but being able to get those sweet, sweet hearts is now a little harder. So we move from Haytel City to the Wowo Woods. Now, I am actually awful at this particular section. this stage brings in the concept of first-person sections. So bad at them. We will do our best. And this group of greasers, the Howling. Oh yeah, no, this definitely channels the kind of like faux 80s aesthetic of Robot Unicorn Attack, definitely. I mean, could Robot Unicorn Attack have a trip like this? And then mushrooms. Robot Wolf Attack. I do like that entire stage takes place of the entire concept while she just trips balls for a moment and then gets assaulted by robots. So using justice and judgment to make twin guns, which also not quite the interpretation of that particular card, but again, sick as hell. Yeet. Oh god, that was close. Oh! I clipped one. Yeah, the key to surviving this segment is actually not to move too much, because then you will avoid slamming into the side. Yeah, no, you definitely, this game definitely does have flow state potential. The stages generally aren't super long, so you can't get into like Tetris level flow state, but some of these you definitely can just kind of like let the mood of the stage or just the flow of the rhythm take you. Yeah, okay, we did it. When I played through this game initially, it was in handheld mode, which can matter for Switch games, actually, because while the games will generally play quite smoothly regardless of what platform, the frame rate will be slightly different, as well will be kind of like input delay sometimes. So with this being in a much bigger screen, a little further from my face, it's a hard thing to navigate, but also giant wolf Cerberus attack. No! I'm trying to be tricky. Okay, whoa! Oh man. There we go, we did it. Yeah, it's actually it's actually not too hard to do the segments if you aren't greedy, but also, you know, trying to do it for the high score and everything. But also keep you at bay, especially since the third boss is by far my favourite. I'm looking forward to showing it. Yeah, please do that. Shot through the heart, and you're to blame, etc. Tower of Lovers. So, the Tower, usually considered to be the worst card to pull of the major arcana. It represents a crumbling of an existing system or beliefs, usually using faulty foundations. The more kind of positive interpretation of it is letting those things be destroyed so you can build something better on the foundations of that. But it's very rare that you climb up the tower. The Lovers, as well as the kind of like obvious interpretation of that card, which is definitely still true. Right, yeah, as well as the obvious interpretation of the Lovers, there is also it symbolises, you know, the union of two things or the confliction of two ideas. They may be a pair, but they are not necessarily the same or not the same idea. I'll kick the ass of robot wars any day of the week, Blacksteel. Especially, like, you know, giant Cerberus is trying to kill me. Welcome to Twilight Cry City, which is a little bit heavy-handed, maybe, but... There's a motorway atop the building. Let's go. Also, drifts. Oh, just narrowly. Resist strength. Yeah! Some proper Meta Knight shit. Welcome to Stereo Lovers. This stage is my favourite stage in the entire game, so I'm probably going to be quiet throughout all of it, because, yeah, it's just very good. So good, so good. It has like really good like a rhythm heaven kind of energy. Learning how the patterns work and how the clicking patterns switch as the stage progresses. Oh, so good. Also, they have swords now. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, well. Not to be a size queen, but that's good. As we ride across the destroyed bridge. Very good. Oh, the title. Yeah, no, I agree, Blexel. I would definitely have an entire game in that style of working out the kind of pattern that the stage is changing under and matching my rhythms to go with it. That's definitely a game that you can reach like a flow state in. The Hermit. The idea of gaining power through isolation. That sometimes you need to go and hide yourself away to learn something new or achieve things. Hello, Nobody Jones. That song is a banger. Welcome to Sayonara Wild Hearts, a game that is a playable music video that I am relatively mediocre at, but love a lot. Parallel Universes, Non-Lyric Finger Snapping is my favourite, I think, non-lyric song. Begin Again, which is the one where you fight the Dancing Devils, I think is probably my favourite voiced song. Actually, this voice song in this stage is also pretty good, but maybe my second favourite. Also, we've been channeling a lot of different kind of scrolling video games and rhythm games. Now it is time for some Outrun. Complete with points for power. That too. Boo. Great job of dodging those hearts. Indeed. Indeed. A lot of the transitory stages are once you lose your place of where you should be standing, it's really difficult to get on like the path of hearts again. I'm really bad at the hermit transition one. I might this character I like. They're a lot of fun. You basically never interact with them. Unfortunately, this stage is not necessarily my favorite. It's an interesting switch up though. Like I like that the score also changes its visual style. Suddenly Tetris. The brick zones which go at different speeds. It's really easy to get caught out. Yeah. No, the game definitely kind of takes a more mellow tone for Hermit 64. So this stage, music's great. The actual stage itself is okay. Interestingly enough, probably the most love song, kind of classic love song style composition on this album. takes place on her visor as well, so as you actually see the sides of her head. Yeah, and then we start spinning. Yeah, I like this part. Oh, no, it's after this, I think. Yeah, we start the slow spin. Super chill. Aside from the last hit on that boss, where it starts going the other way, you need to actually dodge differently. But and now we enter the final world, the star, which is hope and healing in nature. But we are heading towards death, which, you know, the common thing that most people know about Tario is that the death card is not necessarily meaning literal death or that somebody's going to die, but instead represents large and permanent change. Which, to be fair, death is a pretty permanent change. But it can also mean, you know, the ending of something major, so it's the start of something else, or a large transformation of yourself. Unsurprisingly, there are a decent number of eggs out there that come across the death cards and understand what that might mean for them, for example. Also, 2, 3, 4. Ooh, close. The final world. Love Dead City. After the chill world of Hermit, this is definitely going all out. Whoop. The hanged man, sacrificing something about yourself or willingly giving up your freedoms for gain and enlightenment. And that was Little Death. You know, répétez-moi. Ask your parents. We continue with the other video game references with Whole Ass Res segment, which I was very nostalgic about upon it happening. Whoop. For some reason. Ah, really? I usually do better on that stage. I'm losing my touch. But now the game gets serious. Now we're facing Little Death head to head. And she don't fuck around. Miss here. There we go. So, revealing truths and blocking my way in. Ah, what? Oh, that was awful. There we go. This bit is, yeah. We're going actually even faster than before as well, which, broken hearts, huh? And finally we take you to the final stage. Wild Hearts Never Die. Actually did pretty alright there. I was expecting myself to die a lot more often. I will die a whole bunch of times on this final boss though. I know the patterns and yet. You'll see. Previous bosses combined. Yes, this part. Oh, shoot. But damn it, I forgot. Okay. All right. I'm definitely getting better at that final boss. There are definitely bits and pieces of it, but I still kind of get stuck on or forget that there's an attack coming. Some of them definitely just get you if you don't know the attack's about to come. But, yeah. The thrilling conclusion. We're back to our old self before we hit the dream state. I crash into a train car. Are we gonna break them again? No, it's a kiss. And then suddenly...
Then the voices of the three divine arcana echoed from the beyond. And through the wind, their words soared. From the shards of your broken heart, the real heroine has risen. You have restored the lost harmony on your own. Now you must go and find harmony in your own.
And just like how the fool represents the beginning and end of journeys, we end as we started with Carly. I can put the controller down, the run is over. There's still an echo.
Not long ago, in a town much like yours, there was a young woman who fell out of love, asleep, away. For years she fell through spirals of sadness and anger until she could not fall any deeper and fell right back into her groove.
Sometimes the solution to heartbreak is just to find yourself, heal your own heart before you can heal others. And that is Sayonara Wild Hearts, which is pretty good. It's pretty good. It's a pretty good video game. I don't know. There's like a whole load of discussions about, like, you know, AAA video games being expensive ventures, 10-year development time, 60, 100 hours DLC, and sometimes a good-ass video game is like an hour-long, immaculately made experience, you know? Also, it has a lot of purple, that definitely helps. We're gonna let the credits play out, move back to the book club screen and discuss the ideas and themes that were in it. Those who are part of the Phantom Arts Entertainment crew, if you're tuning in, please do join the call so we can have a discussion on air about what you thought of the experience, because I want to hear what your thoughts of the game are as well, you know. It's not just what I think about the game. Oh, also, Queen Latifah is the narrator, which I did not clock when I initially played, did not recognize that, and was very pleased.
Sayonara Wild Hearts.
Yeah. But yes, with that, we're going to move back to the book club soon. I think I beat my score, actually, which is fun. Did I beat my score at 843? No, I didn't beat my high score. The high score that I actually set earlier today. Yeah, that is a cool-ass video game. Ha, cool. So, let's go and go back to our little document. Ideas to take away. So, this bit I actually really enjoy when we do book club, because ideas to take away is not just about the kind of like, this is what the game is saying, because that's also important, but also, you know, when it comes to making new pieces of art, the next thing that I write, the next thing that you who is watching or listening to this might write, might create, might paint, might be also inspired or informed by the games that we play out there. And I think off the bat, I really love the archetypes of the, like, okay, so we don't get any dialogue or anything from the people whose hearts we're breaking, the evil tarot cards who are attacking the fool. We don't get any names, anything about their prior relationships with the main character, but they're really full of personality, and I really like that. I think the idea of showing a big personality with no dialogue is really interesting. The way that they all moved, you know, the way that the dancing devils flowed quite a bit. They kind of like swam in the air, but when they were on motorbikes, they were like taunting, like kind of like, you know, that kind of a Hermit 64 had like really dramatic ballet style poses, and you know, Little Death, who is so goofy. I will never get over the sequence in her stage where you punch her hard enough to break her limbs, and then you ride on a trail of explosive neon green vomit for about 30 seconds. What? How? Who? Yeah, those kind of like moments say a lot about those characters without even really hearing a word from them. You just get their sense of outfit, their sense of movement, and their cool gang name. The chat, absolutely. If chat is in a position to go and respond, what kind of how did you feel about Sayonara Wild Hearts? What kind of ideas do you think we could take away from this? While I wait for stream to catch up, I'm going to crack a beer, because I think I've deserved one over my excellent video game playing. You know, it's a reward for not being entirely miserable. We didn't. Okay, so one thing that this game does is if you die a number of times in a row and in the same place and it thinks you're getting stuck, it gives you the option to skip that particular segment of the song and continue. And I didn't see that screen throughout the entirety of that playthrough, and I was definitely expecting to have to kind of like show that screen off, which is hosted by The Magician, by the by. But we didn't even encounter it, which is definitely fun. Tom, I can see that you're in the chat, but you're also muted. So if you do actually have your microphone in operation, please unmute yourself and say hello to the world. Yeah, yeah, it definitely is a screen of shame energy to it. But it's also fine because, like, okay, I'm not particularly good at video games. I am very willing to skip things if I'm getting frustrated, and this is a game that definitely wants you to finish it. So, you know, why not give you the option of seeing the rest of the stages if there's a part of the stage that's bugging you? I think that's entirely legitimate. I think there's even some hidden achievements in the game about intentionally procking that. So, you know, sometimes to get 100% you even have to intentionally fail, which is very interesting. I think in terms of the ideas to take away, again, moving back to that as a topic, I mean, I'm obviously going to enjoy how that integrated, like, the tarot card symbolism into that. I don't think all of the representations of them by standard definition match the characters in it, but you know, me being a weeb, and possibly you watching and listening out there being weebs too, are very familiar with how tarot cards are implemented in the likes of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, or the Persona video game series, or what would be another interesting kind of like way that that's been introduced in. Ooh. Hello?
Does that sound promising?
Hi, I can hear you. Hello.
Wonderful. Hello.
Hi,
Quite impressive.
welcome to the stream. No, thank you. I think I did an alright job, and the game did an excellent job of being very cool. How are you doing?
Pretty decent. It was good painting, background sort of music and observation.
Yeah. No, the album's on Spotify now. It wasn't yesterday because I was actually desperately looking for it, but it's generally available now, which is very cool. Daniel Olson put the soundtrack together. This is my good friend Tom, everybody, a new member of Phantom Arts Entertainment. He was my DM for Dungeons and Dragons back in my university days, so raised me in part to be the anime trash goblin I am today. Thank you.
So they can't claim all the credit for that.
No. I was already pretty bad when I joined you, but but yeah. What did you think of the game? What did you?
It was very impressive actually, because there's not a lot of rhythm games I've actually played too many of. I think the Hatsune Miku ones on the
Project Diva on like PS Vita and stuff.
Yeah, but obviously they're a lot simpler, and there's not particularly much deep meaning behind those, or certainly nothing by way of plot.
No. Well, I mean, I guess within individual songs, right? Because I know that some of the music videos for like Hatsune Miku can get very elaborate.
No, that's a fair point actually. But no, it's very cool to see. It's very reminiscent of something. Was it Res?
Yes. Yeah, the segment where you get the bow and arrow and start shooting down the targets on screen is very, very Res. But just generally, the idea of it's an experience very closely tied to music is definitely part of that energy.
It did flash me back actually, the old like Panzer Dragoon type stuff, like Saturn era kind of thing.
Yeah. I think in general, I think one of the ideas to take away is wearing your references on your sleeve can sometimes be a good thing, because there's definitely, you know, there's the Ready Player ones out there that's just a list of references and you're like, okay, you've just named a thing, but this has definitely kind of integrated those feelings, those nostalgic feelings of those games in, and that was pretty cool.
It's a sort of nice bit where you're getting sort of a nice nod to it, rather than just rubbing it in your face. Like, hey, look, it's Tracer. Hey, look, you remember all these, don't you? Yes, I do. It's that.
Yeah, no, the first time I played through and we got the little outrun section where we're drifting through the desert, and I was like, what? Oh, that's great.
There must be a lot of people in the media who's very popular with that at the moment, because the last Danganronpa had that as a callback as well, from what I recall. Yeah,
the Logic Taxi, or Psyche Taxi, there we go. Sections definitely also reference that. I mean, you know, in general, in pop culture at the moment, the kind of neon 80s revival is really in, which is why we have the likes of Ready Player One and Stranger Things, which channel, like, 80s pop culture. But on the other side of it, there's the kind of like neon signs riding down the motorway with the top down, palm trees going by you kind of vibe, which you know, I was not alive for that era. Also, I'm not American, so I've never been to Miami for that real life experience, but I still enjoy it when it shows up in video games and music and stuff.
Well, it's obviously why we're having difficulty with that section because the driver's seat was on the wrong side.
Very true. Yeah. There's definitely, well, even in now I'm thinking about it, like the European releases of Outrun, I think actually had the driver's seat on the correct side, because it would have been actively harder to play if you were driving on the wrong side of it. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Localization facts.
Absolutely.
Is there anything else that's especially interesting? What did you think about the ending, by the way, for what kind of whatever kind of story that thing was trying to tell? The idea that you go through all those previous boss fights again, but it's yourself this time, was like
Yeah, it was kind of the I was when you typed into the chat, as it suddenly pulls onto those magical girl stereotypes as you went through the entire series fighting everybody, and then it's, oh look, we've just befriended them all at the end.
Yeah, no, I've always that's definitely a thing about like 90s anime, both shonen and shoujo anime, that has it's your rival, and then after the hardship they are your friends, or at least you understand them better, and that's nice. I dig that. That's not an ideal that shows up in real life very often, unfortunately. Usually when you go through a rough patch with other people in life, it tends to get worse. But I like within the world of fiction that it works.
Yeah, the style of story playing, the fact that I'd almost forgotten there was a voiceover at the start of the sort of back plot until it started doing it again. It's like, oh yes, yeah, there was that at the but I said it wasn't particularly integral to the story until it was I said rounding itself up again, almost to give it a nice close off. The kind of like all the voiceover bits. I liked how in the middle bits of it, when you like destroy some of your rivals, the narrator comes in. It's like, ooh, that's gonna hurt. I'm like, yeah. I'm glad the video game is cheering me on. That's good. Absolute style points all the way through. So I still think the standout bit still being, I think, the entirety of the strength bit, the the finger snapping.
Oh god, that stage is so cool.
I'm trying to think of any games I've seen that have done something like that before, because it's. I appreciate it fundamentally. It's just it becomes sort of recognition once you've played it a few times through and sort of learning. But, but just for sheer style, that was spectacular. Obviously, very good to the music as well.
The finger snapping and clapping on in the studio version, and that makes that song, I think, like the finger snapping rhythm through it. It's definitely my favorite stage. I was when I was playing this initially, I was on the train from London to Manchester. It's a 2-hour journey. So that is exactly enough time to play through that game twice. But when I came to that stage, and I was sitting at like one of the tables, right, and on the other side of me is a very nice, friendly young couple. One of them was reading the latest Margaret Atwood, the other one was reading 1984, very intellectual. And I'm playing on my Switch, and that scene happens, and I said out loud, "Oh shit!" And they looked at me and just sink into my chair, being like, "It's fine. Continue to be intelligent while I play a video game. It's okay."
I still need to invest in a Switch at some point. I usually sit on the train playing video games at the best of the times, which really surprises me, the lack of people who actually do on my train on a morning. You'd have thought it was more popular these days.
Yeah. It's definitely the new Vita, because like I got my PlayStation Vita for JRPGs and visual novels, and the Switch, because of its portability and its increased Japanese support, actually has a very, very similar set of games to it. It doesn't have much in the way of like Monster Hunter clones yet. I'm sure in time they'll probably build into that. I mean, it just has regular Monster Hunter. But there's been a decent number of visual novels that have released on it. The latest Uchikoshi game, The Somnium Files, is also available on Switch. We're going to be playing that next week. I'm looking forward to playing that. It is basically Phoenix Wright as if done by the person who wrote 9 Hours, 9 Persons, 9 Doors. So, grislier murders, standard.
Looking forward to that. They were always fantastic.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm definitely looking forward to that. And I think to kind of like close out, like, I really love the integration of music, because this is not quite a rhythm game. Like the Oendan like circle shrinking bits are all timed to the music, so you can get the perfects when you do those. But generally, you can probably play the game with the sound off and be fine. But it's just the songs experientially, to be pretentious, work really, really well with it, and that harmony was really nice. I always like it when a game integrates its music really strongly into it. You played Nier Automata, right?
Oh, absolutely. It's probably one of my favourite soundtracks going on.
Oh my god, the bit,
really spectacular.
The "We Become as Gods" bit in that, you know, where the chanting in the cutscene layers itself into the background music, and then that's just the background music for the rest of the scene, and that was just so smoothly done art. Love that. So yeah.
I think the Devola and Poplar's theme is very highly on my most played on Spotify. But yeah, just brilliant aspect of like the music, the art, the animation.
Yeah,
this game has been pretty perfect. I mean, ignoring the fact it took it 2 months for the drivers to actually start working on it, to actually make the damn thing work on my PC. Yeah.
No, well, that's tend to be why I go for console releases, because I don't want to F with that. I don't know. I now have a computer that can do that kind of thing and can run shiny video games, and I'm still scared. I'll break it if I run something too spicy.
Well, I think I was eyeing Code Vein recently because I know that's out, but I'm waiting to see what the reviews are like before I go near it.
Yeah, I've heard the character creator is something else, so hopefully we might see it on the likes of Monster Factory or something, but otherwise, anime vampires, I'm into it, that's fine. I'm entirely okay with that. To go and quickly close out this segment, we're going to hit a break for about 5 to 10 minutes, and then I'm just going to be chilling out and playing Mega Man Battle Network for a little bit. Not to analyze or anything, just because that's a neat game and I feel like playing video games this evening. We're going to close out this session with the final question: what is city life to this game? So for the Cyberpunk Book Club segments that we've done, the final question is, what is cyberpunk to this game? Because cyberpunk can mean lots of different things. Sometimes it can mean fighting mega corporations and finding joy in a dystopian world, and sometimes, oh my god, you're raiding with a party of 26, and that's amazing, and we're actually about to go for a break in like 5 minutes, so I feel really bad. Oh no. Hi everybody. You just missed the entire run of Sayonara Wild Hearts, which is a shame. I'm sorry, but I am actually we can, while I'm kind of like setting up the next game, I can just kind of have a general chat with everybody and just kind of see how everybody's day is going while I set up the next game. So we'll go into the next game way faster. We're just going to wrap this up, and then I'm going to jump straight into Mega Man Battle Network. But in normally, when to resume the format, everybody caught me by surprise. Gosh. We normally do Cyberpunk Book Club, where we go and play a video game and then talk about its themes and ideas, and then eventually discuss what cyberpunk means to that game. Because this is Urban Fantasy Book Club, we're discussing what city life might be to this game, which maybe be a bad fit for Sayonara Wild Hearts, considering usually when you're in the city, you're being attacked by twins with gigantic swords, rather than struggling with other kind of like urban issues. But what do you think city life is to this game, Tom?
Oh, long day at work, asking for complicated analysis. Very mean. I don't know. It's kind of spoiled coming from York, because city sort of lives, quite pleasant really. Nothing bigger than not enough giant churches, I think, would be my assessment.
Yeah, there is this game definitely needs more more giant churches. Actually, that would have been an awesome stage to fight in. Yeah. Okay, so what is city life? It's taking the urban environment and making it big and neon, but needs more churches. Okay. Yes, very good. I think from my perspective, this is I like thinking about what happened in the non-dreamscape to all these people that we've encountered. Like, these cool motorcycle gangs might just be her co-workers in real life, or some of them are probably romantic flings. But I always kind of like, you know, wonder what these people are like when we're not like dodging robotic wolves or what have you. So yeah, city life might be kind of like taking that mundane and making it big and weird in your dreams. Making today and making them cool biker girl gangs in your dreams. Yeah, there's a very powerful bisexual energy across most of Sayonara Wild Hearts. Maybe because of the excessive amount of purple, but mostly just because you are going through and fighting a whole bunch of badass ladies and then smooching them at the end. So, you know, big mood.
There was quite a lot of swapping out of the city, so under the level of sort of going out into the forest level was quite nice, especially just for its sort of difference compared to the other stages.
Mm-hmm. That's true. That's true. It wasn't staying in one place. So about travel. Sometimes you need to go on a road trip. Sometimes you need to go hit the woods. Yeah, no, I think that's a really good thing to tie that up. I enjoy that. Yeah. Okay, we're gonna, well, I'm gonna stay on air. I was actually gonna kind of go to a hold screen, but I'm not gonna do that because we actually have more people watching. Hi, hello. But feel free to kind of stick around in chat if you would like to, Tom, while I go and switch video games. But otherwise, I normally do a whole kind of like, hey, what kind of stuff do you want to plug? What kind of things do you want to get out there? But I don't know if you have kind of like projects you want to share with the wider world or not.
Not much myself. Currently painting a small set of spaceships.
Mm-hmm.
I'm currently looking exceptionally purple at the moment. Which
I've influenced you.
Yes.
Please give them like neon lighting. Go and give them some futuristic neon purple lighting. That would actually be the dopest thing. Oh my gosh.
I'll have to see what I can do.
While we're filibustering for time and I go and bring up my actual Game Boy Advance, totally not an emulator. Obviously. Why would it be that? What models are you painting for what game?
It's a game called Drop Fleet Commander.
Oh, okay, I don't know that one.
Quite a cool. I had an inkling for a spacey combat game at some point, and it jumped out because it had quite a nice, cheap, basic starter set.
Mm-hmm.
And the idea of it is you're actually, rather than just in space shooting other spaceships, you're actually in making planetfall.
Okay, yeah.
So the models have like you're either in high orbit, low orbit, or in atmosphere, and so the huge ships sit about in high orbit, blowing up the other bigger ones while you're trying to frantically rush the cities and around the actual map, trying to land troops there and capture them for points and things.
High tension. Nice.
The sort of difference in playstyle sort of just looked a bit different. Also, spaceships are quite nice to paint.
Mm-hmm.
My God, they take a while.
Oh, I forgot that this game is very loud. Okay. Hold on. Good. Right, it seems that I've got that game set up now, so we're going to go and switch over to Mega Man Battle Network. But in the VOD, this is going to be the end of the video. So for those who are watching this, goodbye, and I'll see you next time. And for those who are on the stream, stay tuned.